Hello and welcome back to another Runaway American UK edition. I am back with another awesome Buy Me a Coffee special request from Mr. Bell. Thank you again so much for your continued support of this channel and for having these amazing special requests. I'm loving reacting to them. This is 10 British classic rock legends ignored by America, 70s and 80s. We'll see how many of these I actually know. I'm not really sure. Obviously, I knew a lot from that British one that I didn't know were British, but we'll see how many of these bands I actually know. If you would like to make a special request, you can go on Buy Me a Coffee to make one single special request that you want. Or if you want to join my Patreon, if you join tier 2, you get one special request a month. Tier 3 gets 2. So if that sounds good to you, and it can be 30 minutes, up to 30 minutes long. So if that sounds good to you, check out my Patreon as well. I post special videos on there that couldn't be on YouTube due to copyright. Here we go.
What if I told you that some of Britain's biggest homegrown legends, bands that filled arenas and top charts, barely made a dent in America? While they dominated British radio and became part of the national DNA in the US, they were seen as curiosities, cult acts, or one-hit wonders. Today we're diving into 10 classic British rock bands that conquered their homeland but failed to crack the States. From glam icons to punk pioneers, these are the legends that America simply ignored.
Okay.
In early 70s Britain, T-Rex were a full-blown cultural phenomenon. Mark Bolan became the face of glam rock. Feather, bows, glitter, and screaming fans in every city. Between 1970 and 1983, they racked up 8 consecutive top 2 singles. 4 of them number ones, with albums like Electric Warrior and The Slider ruling the charts. But in the US, it was a different story. Their only major hit was Get It On, retitled Bang a Gong, for American radio.
I do know that one, yeah.
The glam look and theatrical style that thrilled British teens seemed too flamboyant for mainstream America,
That makes sense
which
for
was deep into
America.
country rock and singer-songwriters. Bolan's tragic death at age 29 froze that moment in time. While America largely moved on, Britain never forgot him. Decades later, T-Rex's influence is everywhere, from Bowie to The Killers, proof
Love
that
The
true
Killers.
stardom doesn't always need U.S. approval.
Truth. I definitely know Get It On. Like, I know that song, but I'm not sure if I know any of their other hits.
If you grew up in Britain during the 1970s, Slade were everywhere. With Noddy Holder's raspy howl and Dave Hill's outrageous outfits, they were glam rock's loudest ambassadors. Between 1971 and 1984, they scored 6 #1 singles and became the top-selling British band of the decade.
Okay.
Yet America never quite got it. Their accent-heavy lyrics, glitter-covered image, and tongue-in-cheek humor didn't translate well.
Oh.
U.S. radio favored polished acts like Kiss and Aerosmith.
I did love
Ironically,
Aerosmith, though.
both
But
heavily inspired by Slade's sound. Their only American success came much later with Runaway in 1984.
I don't think I know that one either, though.
Quiet Riot covered 2 of their hits, turning them into U.S. smashes, while many fans never realized they were Slade originals. Back home, though, they're icons. Loud, proud, and eternally shouting, "It's Christmas!"
Yes, I do. I do remember them from the Christmas song they had.
When it comes to the new wave of British heavy metal, Saxon stand tall beside Iron Maiden and Def Leppard in the UK. Their albums Wheels of Steel and Denim and Leather captured everything great about working-class British metal. Loud, proud, and straight from the factory floor, they stormed massive festivals like Donington's Monsters of Rock and became household names in Europe. But across the Atlantic, Saxon never got past cult status.
Oh, okay.
Their
That sounds really good. I like it.
1985 album Innocence is No Excuse peaked at only 133 on the Billboard
Ooh,
chart.
ouch.
Part of the problem was timing. By the mid-'80s, MTV America was ruled by polished glam bands in makeup and spandex, not Yorkshire blokes in leather jackets. Their blue-collar grit didn't fit the image. Still, songs like Seven Border and Strangers in the Night remain shining examples of pure, unfiltered British steel. For late 70s,
Oh, I like that.
Britain, the Jam were more than a band. They were a voice. Led by Paul Weller, they captured the energy of punk, but with sharper songwriting and deep social insight. From 1977 to 1982, they scored 4 #1 singles, and every release made the UK Top 40. Songs like Going Underground and A Town Called Malice became generational anthems, reflecting the frustrations of working-class youth. Yet in America, the Jam barely registered. Their sound was too rooted in British life. Lyrics about council estates, tube stations, and Thatcher-era angst didn't resonate across the Atlantic.
Yeah, that would make sense then, maybe. They sound really awesome, though.
US
They sound like
audiences
one I would
gravitated
really
toward
like.
arena rock and early MTV pop instead. The Jam split at their peak, with Weller moving on to the Style Council. Still, their legacy is untouchable. Sharp, stylish, and unmistakably British, they remain one of the most important bands never to conquer America.
I like their sound, though.
By
Is
the
this
early
Our House
1980s,
again? Like,
Madness were
that sounds like the
absolutely
guys who
everywhere
did
in
Our
Britain.
House.
9 top 10 albums, 16 top 10 singles, and a national image built around cheeky humor and catchy ska rhythms. Their music videos were fun, chaotic, and unmistakably British. Songs like Our House, It Must Be Love, and Baggy Trousers still play at every pub and football stadium. But in America, their story was different. Our House was a brief top 10 hit, yet most Americans dismissed them as a novelty act.
In the middle of our house.
Their Cockney
I like that one.
accents, storytelling lyrics, and very London sense of humor didn't quite fit the MTV mold. US audiences preferred sleek, new wave imports like The Police or Duran Duran.
Okay.
Still, Madness remained national treasures at home, representing a sound that celebrated working class Britain with a wink, a dance, and a brass section that never
I think they
stopped
sound
swinging.
great.
I've got to be near you every night, every day.
I think I know a few of their songs. Yeah, definitely.
The Damned helped invent punk rock as we know it. In 1976, they released New Rose, the first UK punk single ever, followed by the raw and explosive album Damn Damn Damn. They were faster, funnier, and often stranger than their rivals, the Sex Pistols and the Clash. In Britain, they became cult heroes with 9 top 40
wow.
singles and albums that bridged punk, goth, and even pop. But in America, that genre hopping proved confusing. Were they punks, goths, comedy rock? US labels couldn't decide how to sell them. Add to that constant lineup changes and internal chaos, and the Damned never found stable footing stateside. Their single Eloise even reached number 3 in the UK, but never charted in America. Still, their influence is enormous. Bands from The Offspring to The Cult owe them a debt.
Love The Offspring.
The Stranglers emerged from the punk scene, but always seemed to be one step outside of it. Their dark humor, sharp keyboards, and odd time signatures made songs like Peaches, No More Heroes, and Golden Brown unforgettable on British radio. They scored 12 top 20 singles and 11 top 20 albums, an incredible run that made them staples of the late 70s and early 80s. But in the US, they were nearly invisible. Only one album, Dreamtime in 1986, ever cracked the Billboard 200, and just barely. Their lyrics were deeply British, filled with slang and references that didn't translate well overseas. American radio wanted shiny new wave love songs, not existential wordplay about English society. Too weird for punk, too punk for pop. The Stranglers lived in between worlds. Back home, though, they're still regarded as one of Britain's most enduring and inventive rock bands.
Very cool. Shredding. Yes.
Before
I
Electric
like
Light
that.
Orchestra, or Wizard, there was The Move, the band that laid the groundwork for both. Between 1966 and 1971, they scored 9 top 20 singles,
Oh,
including
wow.
Blackberry Way and Flowers in the Rain, which was famously the first song ever played on BBC Radio 1. Known for their
Damn.
wild stage antics and publicity stunts, they smashed TVs on stage and even got
Oof.
sued by Prime Minister Harold Wilson over a controversial postcard. In
Oh.
the U.S., though,
Wow.
they barely registered. Only Do Ya scraped into the charts, peaking at number 92. Their blend of quirky pop, heavy riffs, and British humor just didn't fit American taste at the time. Ironically, when Roy Wood and Jeff Lynne transformed The Move into ELO, that band became a worldwide phenomenon. The Move may have been forgotten overseas, but they sparked a musical lineage that would later conquer the globe.
I like this song a lot. It's really pretty. It's really cool.
The Small Faces were pure mod royalty. Loud suits, louder guitars, and boundless charisma. Fronted by the powerhouse Steve Marriott and featuring Ronnie Lane, Ian McLagan, and Kenny Jones, they defined mid-60s British cool. Songs like All or Nothing and Itchy Coo Park were massive UK hits, and their 1968 concept album Ogden's Nut Gone Flake hit number 1. But in the US,
Gone Flake.
they barely made a ripple. While bands like The Who and The Kinks
Yes.
cracked the American charts, Small Faces' uniquely British slang and humor didn't connect. Their
Okay.
music was steeped in London's mod culture, something
Right.
Americans simply didn't relate to. When Marriott left to form Humble Pie, the band
Oh,
dissolved.
Humble Pie. I know
though
Humble
its
Pie.
remnants would soon become The Faces, with Rod Stewart and Ronnie Wood,
Oh, right.
who finally broke through in America.
Yes.
Still, in the UK, Small Faces remain one of the most beloved bands of the psychedelic era.
It sounds really good though.
No band defines British boogie rock quite like Status Quo. Over a 6-decade career, they've scored 60 charting singles and 27 UK top 10 albums.
Jeez.
Their straight-ahead, heads-down rock and roll became part of the national soundtrack, music for pubs, football terraces, and factory radios. They even opened Live Aid in 1985 before a global audience of 2 billion. Yet in America, they never caught on. Their only US hit was Pictures of Matchstick Men back in 1968.
I don't think I know that one,
After
but
that radio silence, some say their sound was too repetitive. Others think their plain image just didn't fit the flashy American scene. But in Britain, that consistency was their charm. A reliable rock machine that never stopped rolling.
yeah, why
For
not?
fans at home, Quo weren't just a band, they were an institution. These 10 bands
sound
show that
groovy.
success
I like
isn't
it.
universal.
They sound great.
They ruled Britain, shaped generations, and influenced countless artists. Even if
Absolutely.
America barely noticed. From punk pioneers to glam gods, each carried a piece of rock history that deserves to be heard. This was Britain's best, ignored abroad, but immortal at home.
I like them a lot. And I definitely know I know a few of those, like from Madness. The keys are crazy. Too I think I would get into them as well. And this is a great, like, banger. I really like that. I mean, obviously it doesn't matter whether or not we liked them in America, for that doesn't prove anything, obviously. You know, I'm sure there's a million artists who are American who never made it over to the UK, and for good reason, because, like, you guys don't want to hear about, like, Sweet Home Alabama, probably, or, like, you know, there's just some things that are never going to translate well, as they said in this video, like British humor, uniquely British things, like talking about the tube, or talking about, like, housing, things like that, like Margaret Thatcher, like, in the, like, during that time period. It's not going to resonate with people overseas, and vice versa, you know, but they sound great. Like, they sound like they had some really good music, and I'll have to check some of them out. I think that was it The Movers or something? The Move, I think, is one that I would probably really jam to, as well as the Jam. I said that's one I would jam to, but I like the Jam quite a lot as well. I think both of them would be ones that I would really get into, as well as the other, like this one too. Sorry, Status Quo. I think would also be another one that I would be really, really interested in listening to more of them. But there's so many great bands that would never make it to the US. Doesn't mean they're not great. It just means that it didn't translate. And we're not we're not the tastemakers, you know? Just because something makes it in the US doesn't mean it's necessarily good anyways, you know? Thank you guys. Thank you so much for requesting this video. I really enjoyed watching it. You guys know I love music. I love discovering new music. I've gotten to discover a few from this channel already, and I can't wait to listen to more. So please keep tuning in. I really appreciate all of my UK family, and I will see you guys again for another video very soon. Bye-bye.